Hi designers, it's Kylie here again to show you another Photoshop tip. This week I'm going to teach you guys a couple of tips and tricks to distorting rugs. So to start, here I have my rug, sort of flat surfaced. The first thing I usually do is make a copy of it. And if you don't know the shortcut to copy, you hold down the Option key and then drag. You'll notice two little triangles pop up. So just make a copy of it, just in case I mess the rug up. We can go back and we have another layer to work with. So I'll just hide that one for now. So we'll start with the rug. Typically, we start by turning it the correct way that it would be placed in the room on the floor. You'll see though, when we do that, it starts to go out of the frame a little bit. So don't be afraid to start to use the distort tool before you've even put it into perspective. So let's say that this was an 8 by 10 and this room was maybe a little bit larger than 9 by 12. We want to see the edge of the rug here on the floor instead of having it sort of, I guess, fall off the screen, if you will. So if we just put it into perspective, let me show you what that would look like. Zoom in a bit, zoom out, and put it into perspective. And it looks nice. It looks nice, but again, like I said, it's sort of falling off of the edge of the screen. And in real life, the rug wouldn't actually be that large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by distorting it. Okay, so turn back. And I'm going to look at the edges of the room. You know, it's probably going to leave about a foot or so on the edge, about 1.5 feet or so on the edge of each of the rooms. So I'm just going to stretch it out a little bit, okay? And then I am going to scrunch it up a little bit, again, because we don't want it falling off the side or the front of the screen. So I'm going to put the rug underneath my sofa now, and now I'm ready to put it into perspective. So if you're kind of thinking about this, again, this is about how much space the rug would actually take up in the room. So up to Edit, Transform, Perspective, and I'm going to put the rug into perspective. A lot of times, okay, that looks about good there. Now what I'm going to do is to give it sort of a little bit of a more flat look, just transform it and move it up just a little bit. Okay, this looks probably a little bit small to me, but what I'm going to do is just, again, transform and enlarge it a bit. Okay, I don't want it to get too wide, so maybe I will actually pull it down a little bit. Okay, so now it looks pretty good, but if you'll see, it's not lining up with the floorboards, and we want to make sure that it does so that it all looks, it looks a little bit more realistic. So back up to Edit, Transform, and Distort. So I'm going to distort this a little bit. I'm going to grab this corner, pull it out a little bit so that it matches up with the floorboards. Let's see, maybe move this out just a little, oops, just a little bit. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, and if you hold down the Shift key while you are using the Distort tool, it will keep the opposite side sort of locked. So if you'll notice here, the whole rug kind of moves with it. When I use the Distort tool, you'll see this side moving. So again, this is without using Shift. But then, once I hold the Shift key down, this side sort of anchors itself in these two positions. So I'm going to distort this rug, and again, let's try to get it lined up as much as possible with the floorboards. Over here looks pretty good. So I'm just going to move it over just a little bit and get it centered in the room. And ta-da! Hopefully that helps you guys put the rugs into perspective and distort them and get them into the room looking as realistically as possible. Thanks.